Wow. This feels good. Hey, it's Soup here, and I gotta say I'm pretty excited to share this video with you. I've been doing a lot of PTR testing for Kyrian Arcane, and it seems like the tier set plus Harmonic Echo has changed things quite a bit. This video is gonna go over what the changes are and show you an example of what the new rotations might look like. If you want to be notified when I release raid and class guides come 9.2, then make sure to subscribe. It's important to remember that this is just speculation and things can and probably will change at some point. All right. Let's get started. The two major changes I'll be focusing on is the tier set bonus and the interaction of Harmonic Echo on the rotation. Starting with the tier set, the 2-piece increases the arcane damage you deal to targets affected by Magi by 18%, and the 4-piece increases the duration of Magi by 4 seconds, making it a 12-second duration. The wording on the 2-piece is important because this buffs the damage you deal to targets with Magi on them compared to the conduit that increases the amount of damage that Magi accumulates. This means that the initial hit is buffed by 18%, and then that additional damage also contributes to Magi. The 4-piece is amazing because it makes Magi the same duration as Rune of Power, and the longer duration allows for further travel time for Barrage during the Spark ramp. Next, I want to go over Harmonic Echo. They changed this legendary recently, and it currently deals 25% of your damage dealt during Spark to your current target and to 4 additional nearby targets. The impact of having Harmonic Echo proc on your primary target has incredible synergy with the tier set bonus as well as Magi in general. Harmonic Echo looks like it's going to be reworking the AoE ramp or getting rid of it altogether, but that remains to be seen. My favorite interaction of all of this is the 2-piece with Harmonic Echo because Magi causes you to deal 18% additional damage to your Magi target, which then procs 25% from Harmonic Echo, which feeds into Magi even more. Next, I want to talk about the impact on the rotation. There's a few major changes to how the ramp is probably going to work. First, Harmonic Echo only procs damage off the Spark vulnerability stacks, which means the first spell you cast after Radiant Spark will not proc Harmonic Echo. Second, Harmonic Echo does not proc off both Arcane Blast and Arcane Barrage if snapshotted together for the 40% Spark buff, which means that the 5th Arcane Blast can drop from the rotation entirely. It's important to note that while Barrage damage is calculated when it's cast, it will not proc Harmonic Echo unless it hits the target before the Radiant Spark debuff falls off. However, this won't be difficult thanks to skipping the 5th Arcane Blast. And third, the extended duration on Magi will give us some much needed flexibility with the distance that we play at. With that said, the extended duration will allow us to build a second big barrage during Magi, so we won't be able to play that much further off. We just won't have to worry about missing the big barrage with the 40% spark buff when we're playing at far range. And fourth, Harmonic Echo pumping as much damage into Magi as it does makes the single target ramp seem like the play on at least up to 5 targets and possibly up to 7 or 8 because it's actually quite a bit of damage. I'm sure there's much more to get into with all this, but to keep this video short, I'm just going to go ahead and showcase some examples of changes that I think are probably going to happen to the rotation. First, in AoE using Arcane Power. It makes sense to me that Arcane Explosion for the first Spark stack is probably more damage than Arcane Blast into Magi because Harmonic Echo doesn't proc off the first stack. It was close in the testing I've done, but I don't know for sure. Other than that, it's a single target rotation on at least up to 5 targets because the difference in Harmonic Echo and Magi damage to AoE is massive. And then when using Magi outside of Arcane Power, I think that the opener is going to change because Magi and Rune have the same duration. I found that casting Spark, Rune, Magi gives an extra global for building a second big barrage that you can snapshot right before Rune ends. And there's still plenty of time to get the Spark ramp out before it ends. I also want to show how amazing Harmonic Echo is when using just Spark and Orb as a cooldown pairing. Orb procs the first Spark stack, and then Harmonic Echo plus an 18 stack barrage turns Spark into a pretty big AoE cooldown. I think this has potential implication for Clea and Mechanicos and Mythic Plus because using Spark more often and not necessarily paired with other cooldowns has increased value. Just a reminder that things can change as 9.2 gets closer. Hopefully this gives you an idea of how Kyrian Arcane is changing and why I am so excited about these changes. If you need a refresher on Kyrian Arcane or didn't understand some of the things that I went over, then make sure to check out my guide in the upper right. This next tier is looking like a multi-spec tier, and as someone who enjoys just playing all things mage, I cannot wait for 9.2. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.